Hello everyone, this is G and I'm back with another video. I'm sort of breaking my own rule here by doing this. I don't typically make videos on 9/11 because it's 9/11. I try not to be very active on social media because the day is a very heavy day, as I know it is for many people, both in New York City and across America and across the country and the world. First of all, before I continue, I just want to say I hope everybody's well, right? I hope everyone is okay. I know that, the world is nuts out there, but if there's one thing I have learned throughout history, it's that nothing lasts forever, even cold November rain, right? But I wanted to address um, these panels right here. Now, I'm not gonna, what's what I'm looking for? Disparage this particular person for liking this individual's take on Captain America. Apparently, the person who wrote this, who's writing the current Captain America, or one of the Captain America comics, is Jay Editing, right? It says writer, editor, human rights grad student, pirate king of the moon, represented by whomever, queer, trans, tired, he, him, his. Okay, whatever. Right, but I've seen these panels for a day or two now, and they just keep eating at me. And I don't know, I just felt the need to sort of address it and just give my thoughts. Apparently, this is from Captain America. It's from a Captain America comic. Uh, a recent one. It's like Captain America Infinity or something to that effect. But it's these panels, right? So it has Captain America, going through and living life. Excuse me. And everything. And so, according to this person, this Maragos individual, niche, right? They're saying that it's a good thing that these speech panels that we see from these guys in the background, Captain America is supposed to be in a bar, right? That's supposed to be a good thing that, we're just told that whatever these men are saying is something incredibly racist, right? Not actually being told what it is that they're saying. We're just getting the writer's opinion, right? You literally see these are censor bars. This is supposed to be a Marvel comic, and they're using censor bars to tell you that whatever these three men in this bar behind Captain America are saying is something incredibly racist. First of all, as a reader, I find it incredibly insulting that this doesn't allow me to see for myself because I don't know what these men are saying. That's so racist, and I don't know what these national platitudes are in the other image here. And the argument Maragos makes is that it avoids giving these arguments a platform in a Marvel comic, and it highlights how empty and rote everything people say is these days. Here's the thing. It also denies me as a reader the ability to actually see what is being said. You want me to take it on faith that the writer had, how do I put it? You want me to take it on faith that what these three men are saying is incredibly racist without showing me what is racist. Right. This is literally tell, don't show, right? Generally, the writing advice is to show, don't tell, right? Because if you show something and you don't tell it, right, it allows the reader or the viewer or whomever to come to a conclusion for themselves about what's going on. So this says to me that Jay here, Mr. Not Lasers, doesn't believe that I'm smart enough. Or perhaps the inverse is true. Maybe he believes I'm too smart. And that if I actually know what these three men in the background are saying, or what this person that Captain America is talking to in the second panel is saying, that I might agree with them, or I may not find it racist, or it may be one of those issues that's very complex and exists in a gray area. But it basically shows me that the writer is a coward, that he doesn't have it in him to actually write down this supposedly racist thing, or these supposedly nationalist platitudes that Captain America is supposed to be against. And I think what really bugs me about this, because I think this is from Bleeding Cool, right? It shows some panels here, the same panel here, and then it even has Captain America saying, "If I don't say anything, what's the message?" And again, we don't actually get what they're saying. Seriously, who says this in public? I endorse your values in the name of America, right? So my question is, where are the panels that show Captain America actually confronting these individuals about this supposedly racist stuff that they're saying? If there is one thing Captain America, any hero really, but in particular heroes like Captain America or Superman, these paragon type heroes, right, the ones who represent positive ideals, if there's one thing I've learned from heroes, or that these type of heroes are supposed to represent, it is confronting evil. It is confronting sincerely bad or toxic people or ideas. Whether it's the mugger down the street, whether it's a supervillain, or whether it's something like, actual Nazism, right? They're supposed to confront these things so that regular people like us can be inspired, right? And we're not seeing Captain America confront these men. And it just reminds me of when Marvel actually had the balls to actually confront racism in their works, confront that issue. I will give you two examples. One of them comes from the X-Men animated series cartoon. It comes from my favorite two-part episode, and just favorite episode in that show. It's a two-parter called One Man's Worth. And the basic idea of the episode is that you have several villains, uh, Master Mold and one or two others going back in the past to more or less kill Charles Xavier before he becomes what he becomes, right? And Wolverine and Storm are thrown into the future, and we see alternate versions of them. I think it's from the Age of Apocalypse, or it's inspired by that, where their future selves, or this alternate reality future versions of themselves, are married. And not only are they married, but they're deeply, passionately in love with each other. And what happens is that there's a certain point, I think it's in the second episode, because eventually Bishop and Shard, because they're time travelers, they get pulled into the zaniness too. But there's a scene fairly early, I think, in the beginning of the second episode where they're in the 50s, they're trying to save Xavier, and Xavier, Wolverine, Storm, Bishop, and Shard end up at this very 1950s diner, because it's literally the 50s, right? And they're basically the X-Men, right? Wolvie, Storm, Shard, Bishop are trying to convince this younger version of Xavier that, he is this, great leader, and he's gonna, stand up for mutant kind and, humanity and all this other stuff, right? So they're basically trying to explain to him that, hey, we have to keep you alive because you're going to become this great man in time. And of course, since this is his younger self, he doesn't believe a word of it. But what happens is that while they're talking to Xavier and trying to convince him that they're not there to hurt him, they're actually there to help him and save his life and everything, the owner of the diner that they're eating at notices, and again, remember, this is 1950s, right? They're in the 1950s, right? The owner of the diner sees Wolverine and Storm, and again, this is their alternate versions, holding hands, right? And you see the camera focuses on their hands. You see wedding bands, right? So the diner owner realizes, wait a minute, this these two are married, right? It's interracial relationships, interracial marriage. And he walks over to them and he's like, y'all can't eat here, right? He kicks them out and he's like, I'm not taking anything from their kind, right? And Storm is the one who realizes that the guy's being racist. And then Storm, because this is, 90s Storm, she's like, skin color prejudice? That's so pathetic, it's almost quaint. And of course, because this is 90s Wolverine, he gets angry because this man has just insulted his wife, and he starts a fight in the diner. My favorite scene in the whole series, the whole story. But this is the type of thing that I grew up watching and that I learned from. That when you hear someone say something really that bad, right? Sincerely racist, right? You confront them. You tell them that's wrong. Maybe you don't start a diner fight like Wolverine does, right? But you're supposed to confront these sincerely toxic ideas. And we don't see Cap do that. And what's worse is that we don't even see what these ideas are. What exactly are these men saying? That is so bad, right? But we don't see that because the writer is not man enough or woman enough or trans enough or whatever it is to actually write it down. Well, we're just supposed to take it on faith. Another example that comes to mind for me is from Marvel again. It's actually the old 1990s run of Silver Sable and the Wild Pack, which I was reading a few years ago. Now, if you're not familiar with the Wild Pack from the early 1990s, they were more or less Sable's Merc band, and they were more or less like a discount version of the X-Men, but with no powers and nowhere near as cool. But the leader of the Wild Pack, right? So the Merc band, so you would say Sable's second in command, is a guy named Powell. And the thing about Powell, or just about the Merc band in general, is that they're all people looking for redemption. Whether it's Sandman, who's typically a Spider-Man villain, or whether you have Chen, who's this Vietnamese assassin, or whether you have a character like Crippler, who used to be part of Hydra, or you have Powell, who is a sexist discount version of Gambit with no powers and less charm. But he's also a racist. And the comic does not hide that. The man was literally the former bodyguard of the Grand Wizard of the KKK. This was Marvel in the 1990s. They were ballsy enough to actually make a character like that. And here's the thing. He is shown in a somewhat sympathetic manner. His ideas are never considered right. But the characters in the story, including Sable herself, do confront him repeatedly on his views, to the point where she actually, what happens at a certain point in the story is that they eventually get a sincerely good guy character on the team named Battlestar. And Battlestar, more or less, is Black Captain America with large muscles. Right? And what happens is that Sable teams up. She makes Powell work with Battlestar to the chagrin. There's the word I was looking for. To the chagrin of them both, because her idea is, if I make Powell work with him, maybe Powell will finally start getting over his issues. Right? This was how Marvel in the 1990s dealt with the issue of racism in their works, whether it be the cartoon or whether it be in a comic book. They allowed for the words to be said or the words to be written. They allowed for these characters to have these positions, and then the heroes of your story would directly confront them. They would not hide it behind censor bars, and they sure as hell would not have Captain America himself just stand there with his back turned while these men say these things, and him pondering how he might be received. See, Captain America would have gone up to them and he would have confronted them and he would have told them that whatever they think is absolutely wrong. That he has served with people of various nationalities with distinction. He would mention people like Falcon, right? Sam Wilson. He would mention people like what's his face, James Rhodes, right? War Machine. He would mention the various soldiers that he served with who were not white, right? During World War II. He would mention uh, people like on the Avengers, right? Like Monica Rambeau, whom he personally appointed to lead the Avengers at a certain point. That's what Captain America would do if he heard someone saying something incredibly racist. He would use his experiences to explain to them that they have absolutely no right or place to judge. He would confront them. He may not do what Wolverine does and start a fight in anger, but he would certainly confront them. You know, modern day progressives, SJWs, far leftists, whatever you want to call it, love to co opt the image of Captain America punching Hitler, right? But there's a deeper meaning to that image. That image isn't just about him literally punching Hitler, right? It's about him attacking the Nazi ideology, a sincerely toxic ideology that led a nation to atrocity, that killed millions upon millions of people, both in Germany and across Europe, and led to a war, right, to the Second World War, all because he didn't like these individuals' religion and cultural and ethnic background, right? That, at least to me, is what uh, Cap punching Hitler represents. He's attacking not just a man, not just the leader of a particular country who has long been dead, but he's attacking it in ideology as well. A set of sincerely toxic ideas that got people killed, that got millions upon millions of people murdered for nothing. And now, this particular writer, this J editing guy, right, and whomever the heck his artist is, are literally going to have Captain America stand there while you have these three dude bros at a bar saying something incredibly racist. And he's not going to confront them. He's going to stand there, this American hero, and wonder how he might be perceived by them or by others, right? And then it shows some other panels here, talks about some sort of TV personality who became a politician and whatnot, right? Now, am I surprised by any of this? No, not surprised by it. But I am angered by it. I am angered by it because this is not the type of thing Captain America would do. This is not the type of thing that a writer should do. A writer, in my opinion, whether you're writing a book or whether you're writing a comic book or anything else, whether you're writing a song, should have the guts, should have the cojones to take an idea that they disagree with and be able to express that idea clearly and in full in the work and then have that idea confronted. I do not appreciate looking at censor bars and being told, oh, these guys are totally saying something racist. Just take my word for it. No. Show me what they are saying. Show me what they're saying so that I can decide for myself if what they're saying is truly as racist as you claim it is. Show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. So, not only is Captain America a coward in these panels, I would say the writer, in a way, is a coward because he, right, isn't writer enough or man enough to actually write down what these individuals are saying. Instead, we get censor bars telling us more or less what to believe. Here's the thing, Jay, I don't believe you. And I don't appreciate being treated like a fool. Right? I don't appreciate that at all. If you want to confront an idea, you must first express that idea. And I'm going to close this video out with some words from one of my favorite heroes, Wolverine, James Howlett, Logan. I remember an X-Men episode where Sabretooth threatens to attack a small village. I think it's when Wolverine went to Alaska or whatever to find himself. Right? And Wolverine says to Sabretooth, he's like, "You've always liked picking on people who were smaller than you. Well, I'm smaller. Try pushing me." That inspired me as a little kid, because here was Wolverine standing up for people, standing up for those who were being attacked and oppressed by Sabretooth. And remember, Sabretooth, was a real threat to Wolverine at this time. This was one of the few men who sincerely scared him, who could actually bring him to within an inch of his life. Even in the cartoon, Wolverine was shown to suffer greatly at Sabretooth's hands, right? But still, despite that, when those Alaskan fishermen, whomever they were, the villagers, were threatened, Wolverine, despite knowing that he's going to struggle against Sabretooth, tells Sabretooth to pick on him, to fight him. He stood up for innocent people. He stood up to protect them. And I think that's something that we should remember, not just on this day, but every day. Do we always have to start a fight? No. But we should certainly stand up and speak out when we actually sincerely hear something incredibly racist or sexist or whatnot. But anyway, that's the video. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day or night wherever you are. Stay safe. See y'all around the next video. Bye.